All right, guys, this is Donnie.
And Sandra.
And we are coming to you from Cherokee, North Carolina. Cherokee, North Carolina. Now, I've got 3 urban legends to go over with you guys. And each one of them is going to have its own video. And so be looking for the other 2. Now, you might hear gunfire in the background. We are at a hip camp. We are at a hip camp location, and evidently somebody around here, a lot of woods and stuff. We are in country. We are in the country, in the mountains area, and evidently somebody is having some practice shooting, and so, but you might hear some gunfire in the background. We are in Cherokee County for 2 nights. This is the 53rd county out of the 100 counties in North Carolina that we are staying in at least 1 night. And we will be here again for 2 nights. And so be looking for my RVers, be looking for the campground reviews that I do, and or location spots that we do the reviews, the fun facts on the counties, and also the spooky urban legends and ghost stories that I often will try to find out in these counties. And Cherokee did not disappoint, and so we're going to go over 3. So be sure you guys look at the other 2 that I do. But at any rate, this one here is called the Giant Leech. The Giant Leech. Have I told you anything about this one?
No, but it sounds disgusting.
Oh, good deal. We're going to learn something about this giant leech urban legend, and we're going to learn something about leeches, because I put some information down in here about leeches. Now, this is the way it goes. There's a spot near Murphy at the far western edge of the state that the indigenous Cherokee named. Now, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the name of it on the screen for you. But it's Tlanus'yi. I don't know what's Tlanus'yi, but it means the Leech Place. Is what it means, the Leech Place. Because this seemingly quiet spot on the Valley River was where something dangerous and strange could be found. The story begins a long time ago at a place in the Valley River just before it joins the Hiwassee. Here, there's a thin ledge of rock running across the river, which is just passable as a bridge. But just below this natural bridge, there's a deep hole in the river, a place where the water disappears into cold darkness. All of this is overlooked by a high ridge on the south bank with a trail running across it that offers a clear view down into the river. It's along this path that one day a small group of Cherokee men were walking. As they looked into the river below, they noticed something strange. It was a large red something. That's what it says here. As large as a house.
What?
Sitting on the rock ledge in the river. As they wondered what it was, they saw it slowly begin to move and unfurl. It stretched out its long, flat, fleshly body along the ridge like a ribbon, until they could see that it looked like a leech, a giant leech, whose body covered almost the whole of the ridge that bridged the river. It was a bright red with white stripes running along its body. The thing lay on the rocks for some time and then slithered down into the deep hole in the river. The men were astounded, and even more so when the water beneath them began to bubble and foam, almost as if it were boiling. And then a giant waterspout shot up from the pool, strong enough that it would have swept the men into the river if they hadn't been wary and ran as soon as they saw it coming. This was the leech's trap. It would wait in the depths for unsuspecting people to walk along the ridge and then send out the water spout and suck them down into the river. Many unwary people died this way, and their bodies would be found later lying by the side of the river with their noses and ears eaten off.
Ew.
Eaten off. The Cherokee who lived in the area soon began to avoid taking that path out of fear of becoming the creature's next victim, but not everyone was so cautious. There's the story of a young woman who was walking with her baby by the river and decided she wanted some fresh fish to eat. She walked out along that ridge in the water and sat her child down on the exposed rock.
Please don't tell me this story is going to
Listen!
go okay.
Listen! Preparing to cast her line into the water, but the river began to bubble and foam, and she grabbed her child and ran out of the way just as the whole ridge was engulfed in angry, foaming water. So no, it didn't get the child.
Goodness.
Now, I gotta admit, when I was first reading the story, it was like it was building up.
Yes.
I said, oh my God, it's going to get her kid. And so, but no, it didn't.
Good.
Another story tells of a young man who wasn't so lucky. He laughed at the story and said he would show everyone in the town that it was nonsense. So he set off towards that spot on the river, singing about how he would wear leech skin leggings. When it was all done, he walked boldly across the bridge, overlooking the river, with many people from the town gathered to watch and see what would happen. He got halfway across before the water started to bubble and foam, and a water spout shot up, dragging him down into the river. He was never seen again.
Oh my goodness.
The place the Cherokee call that Tlanus'yi is still there. It's said that even today you can look down into the river, and what I'll do is I'm going to put a GPS coordinates.
Mm-hmm.
This story actually came from North Carolina Ghost, NorthCarolinaGhost.com, and they gave a GPS coordinates on it. What I'm going to do is show that on the screen. This is what they show. And so, but it says, and see something moving in that deep hole in the water, is what they're saying. That you can go there today and still see something moving in that deep hole in the water.
What?
But if the water starts to bubble,
you better
best
run.
to move out of the way and fast. Now, there's probably something natural going on. And so, that's just my take on it. But there's probably something natural going on that may be making that happen, and some fanciful little story has been created to it. Maybe some people have been killed because of it. I don't know. But this is more about the story. This story is adapted from James Mooney's 1900 Myths of the Cherokee. Mooney was an anthropologist who worked for the Smithsonian Institution's Bureau of American Ethnography. Ethnography. Mooney learned to speak, read, and write in Cherokee. Very impressive. And spent years among the Eastern Band in the North Carolina compiling books of the religious and cultural practices of the Cherokee Nation. Now, this is more on leeches. This is for you guys that want to learn a little bit more about leeches. Leeches are often located in protected, shallow areas, hidden under aquatic vegetation or beneath rocks, logs, or other debris. They are drawn to regions of disturbed water around docks and bathing places. Leeches are most active during the sweltering summer days, and they dig burrows in the mud just below the frost line in the winter. Although leeches like warm weather, they are very tolerant of their surroundings. They can go for extended periods without food, and they will modify their body temperature to suit the conditions. They can therefore be found anywhere besides Antarctica's icy regions. Leeches have a diverse diet despite their negative reputation as bloodsuckers. Freshwater leeches feed on mollusks, insects, insect larvae, fish eggs, and worms. In addition to sucking blood, they like to ingest the blood of other aquatic animals such as fish, worms, and snails. About 25% of leeches species are predators. They hunt and ambush their prey. These types of leeches eat small invertebrates like slugs, snails, and earthworms. As soon as the leech sees a moving object, it swims towards it, utilizing one of its suckers, and attaches to the host. Then, using its tiny pointed teeth, it makes a Y-shaped hole and injects an anticoagulant into the incision. Leeches typically have a lifespan of, get this, 2 to 8 years.
Huh.
I thought that was kind of interesting, which is a long lifespan for an invertebrate. They can sometimes live up to 10 years in the wild. However, they can live much longer in captivity. Thought that was interesting. While leeches are typically found in water, some can live in dry areas by excavating mud holes. Most cannot swim and avoid going into the water, but they can withstand brief submersion. People bitten by leeches may experience painless bleeding, burning, itching, bruising, irritation, and redness. A targeted physical examination may be needed depending on the region of concern. Unlike other blood-sucking invertebrates such as mosquitoes, there are no known diseases that leeches can spread to people. However, they can still pose a threat to the human body due to the parasites or germs they might carry. Interesting. The giant Amazon leech is the world's largest leech, reaching a length up to 18 inches. 18 inches. That's 1.5 feet long.
Mm-hmm.
This enormous Amazon leech is reported to reach incredible sizes and spread out to a width of 3.9 inches, in contrast to juveniles, which lack a uniform color and instead have a non-continuous palate and patchy coloring. Adults of these leeches are a grayish brown hue. From the 1890s to the 1970s, when 2 adults were collected in French, I want to say Guyana, the species was believed to be extinct. Grandma Moses, one of these 2 leeches, that's the name of it, Grandma Moses. One of these 2 leeches established a fruitful reproductive colony at UC Berkeley. In just 3 years, Grandma Moses, as she was known, gave birth to more than 750 baby leeches.
Oh my God.
Grandma Moses' breeding colony was investigated by researchers in medicine, neurology, and natural history who produced a total of 46 pieces of research. UC Berkeley selected the National Worm Collection as the leech's final resting place after she passed away. Grandma Moses resembled the shape of the cobra's hood in one hand. She was broad in the middle but tapered at either end. According to the French scientist 1899 writing, a few of these huge leeches are actually enough to kill a cow or a horse.
Oh my goodness.
That's amazing. The giant leech has 34 segments, each with its own brain. Get that.
Wow.
Each with its own brain or ganglia. Like all blood-sucking leeches, not bad for a slimy little worm to have 34 brains, right? Leeches are linked to earthworms, and both have slimy texture. When pressured, the leeches secrete goopy mucus to escape. The leech's powerful sucker is located at its flatter end, while the head is at the narrow tip. The leech has muscles that you can feel in the palm of your hand. As it eats, those muscles move in undulating waves, likely to assist in transporting absorbed blood to the digestive system. Leeches come in different sizes, but the average leech grows up to 2 inches long. Other than the giant Amazon leech, certain species in the United States can also reach lengths of 10 inches. Leeches are segmented, flat-bodied worms Although some species are vividly colored, they are typically black or brown in hue. They can stretch and compress to such an extent that it is challenging to measure them due to their incredible flexibility. Typically, a leech has 2 or 3 rows of small teeth, and you can feel a leech bite partly because of the size of its fangs. And that is all the information, guys, that I have, that I little extra something on your plate there about leeches. But I hope you've enjoyed it. Do you have any questions?
I just think leeches are disgusting. But
They are.
But they are also very fascinating that the Lord created something like that.
That is amazing. They're amazing. Another amazing animal, just like the mosquitoes. I had no idea that mosquitoes are very useful in pollination. I had no idea about that.
No, I didn't know
so it's
that either.
amazing what you can learn about some of these animals. And so, but guys, we've hoped you've enjoyed it. We are going to get off this one so I can get on to the next one. And so, but you guys take care and watch out for those being in those leech infested areas. You guys take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.